Fairfax.
I represent the seat of Fairfax.
Fairfax.
Deputy Speaker, thank you very much, and I'm delighted to be here in this chamber today because at long last, after the Rudd-Gillard-Rudd era, we had a government come in that is providing leadership in the area of defence, and we have a minister who is providing the leadership that we require in defence industry in this country. Now, of course, we all know that under their leadership we have a defence white paper, we have a defence industry capability plan and a defence export strategy. These three pillars, if you like, that have established a very clear framework under which we now have, under the lead of the Minister, the greatest and largest recapitalisation program in the history of the Australian Defence Force. Now, this is an enormous set of activity, not just for our Defence Force, but of course for the Australian economy, and thus the importance of this portfolio. And indeed, those pillars of the framework all lead to a strategic objective, Deputy Speaker, which is to ensure we have the capability, we have the posture, we have the resilience to meet our defence needs as a nation moving into the future. In order to deliver on that, I've had the privilege, together with my Team Queensland LNP colleagues, of coming to understand the Land 400 project in great detail because Team Queensland put its shoulder in support of a bid that would see the manufacturing of 211 combat reconnaissance vehicles in Queensland. Now, that was a $5.2 billion project, and that will see this new fleet of CRVs roll out. Deputy Speaker, as you know, my background is in the commercial sphere, and where I see this Land 400 project deliver on the government's strategy is in a few areas. Firstly, Rheinmetall, who are the preferred tenderers by the government, plan to create a military vehicle centre of excellence that will look to design and manufacture combat vehicles well into the future. The company is also establishing a national R&D program, establishing links with CSIRO as well as universities to ensure that the best and brightest put their shoulders to the wheel in creating and designing new intellectual property. And with intellectual property, Deputy Speaker, we've also seen, as part of the proposition of that company to become the preferred tenderer for Land 400 Phase 2, the idea of transferring intellectual property from Germany to Australia, seeing that intellectual property domiciled in Australia. We also see a pipeline of export, Deputy Speaker, worth $60 billion, and that's just for that priming business. It doesn't account for the hundreds of small and medium businesses, not just throughout Queensland, it must be said, Deputy Speaker, but right throughout Australia, who are going to be part of their supply chain. And this is an opportunity, not just for the larger players, I mean, they are using Australian steel, Bisalloy, but also an opportunity for small and medium businesses that have never played in the defence space. For me, that Land 400 Phase 2 project is a case study that brings to life the strategy of this government. A strategy that says we need to have a sovereign capability that we own. We need to ensure that our businesses are owning the intellectual property, that we are investing in that moving forward, and that the Australian defence industry will build its own capability to service the needs of our nation moving forward. And so it's with that in mind, Deputy Speaker, that my question to the Minister today is, will the Minister inform the Chamber of the benefits of the Land 400 project to the Australian industry, and will he provide some insight into how that is a case study and example of the government's approach to defence industry.
I thank the member for Fairfax, and I give the call to the honourable member for Curra.